Alright guys, back at it again. And this time we got a review for the new Paul Feig movie, The Housemaid. So yes, I got to see the new Paul Feig movie starring Amanda Seyfried and Syndney Sweeney. Going into this movie, I think I even said in the short, I didn't love the trailers. I also didn't know Paul Feig directed this movie until like a little bit before I watched the movie, which is kind of crazy because I think I would have been more excited because I'm a big fan of A Simple Favor. Obviously, Paul Feig's also known for Bridesmaids. He's known for Spy. He's known for The Heat, which is a really good comedy movie. So he's somebody I actually like quite a bit. I don't dislike any of his movies really. I mean, I haven't seen the Ghostbusters movie, so that might be the one. I don't know. But like I said, A Simple Favor is one of my. It's a movie I can always put on. There's so many memorable moments, so many good lines, great performances. So once I learned that he directed it, I was pretty all in. I was definitely excited at that point. Obviously, you have Amanda Seyfried, somebody you haven't seen like a ton of in recent years. Somebody that I thought at one point they were trying to push as the it girl. It didn't really happen. But really not to any fault of her own. I think she's a really good actress, and she's really good in this movie, as we'll get to. And then you have Syndney Sweeney, who's always a topic of conversation, good and bad, just because, you have people out there that they have nothing better to do. But anyways, yes, we follow Syndney Sweeney's character, Millie, who is in a bad way, really needs money, needs a place to stay. So she comes upon this housemaid job, and so she finds Nina, who's looking for a housemaid. They have a place up, and that's not an attic, but it's up to the top of the house where she would be staying, while she also took care of the place. Well, as you know, stuff starts to ensue. There's a lot of... Is Nina crazy? What is going on? There's a lot of pressures around the house. There's a lot of insanity. I don't really want to say anything else because there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie. I just to get right into the positives, I think performance-wise, I think Syndney Sweeney as Millie is really good in the movie. You really follow a character. You get behind her character. So yeah, you get behind Syndney Sweeney's character partly because of her performance. You root for somebody that's kind of like, not really an underdog, well, kind of, but just in the situation that they're in and the unfortunate thing of it all. And I think she does portray that very well. I also think, I mentioned Nina's husband, who's played by, Nina is played by Amanda Seyfried, obviously, but her husband, who's played by Brandon Sklenar, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he's also in The Drop, and I gotta give a shout out to him because I think there's 2 movies he's been in that he's been really good in, but I think he's asked to do more in this movie, and I think he really thrives. And then Amanda Seyfried, I would say, is definitely the best performance in this movie. She's great. What she's asked to do. The level of craziness that she has to get to at times, as you could probably see in some of the trailers. But she's also just asked to do so much with that character and that crazy type of character, that crazy 90s thriller character. And that's another great thing about this movie. It's a throwback to like your 90s thrillers, your 80s thrillers, some of that erotica stuff, but also just, what's going on here? Like, is there more than meets the eye? And I think Paul Feig is great at this kind of stuff. He's great at directing women, getting the best out of actresses that he can. I mean, A Simple Favor is a perfect example of that. I mean, Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively are great in that movie, have great chemistry, and I think the same is to be said with this movie, The Housemaid. I definitely really enjoyed the scenes with Amanda Seyfried and Syndney Sweeney, and I just really enjoyed the aspect of the thriller, and just it puts you on a thrill. You're constantly on this ride, and like, what's next, what's around that, like, and they hint towards certain things that keep you like, I don't know about that, which I think Paul Feig did a really good job of. He does a really good job of that in A Simple Favor, so it's not surprising. It can get ridiculous. If you ever seen Another Simple Favor, which is the sequel, there's some ridiculous stuff. Sometimes he'll up the envelope too much, even though I do like Another Simple Favor. But with that being said, I think he does a really good job with this. I don't want to say he's becoming known as the twist guy, but you kind of feel like there's that coming. But I just think that's a part of him and a part of, the way he likes to do these thrillers / comedies. Granted, this movie isn't as much of a comedy as like A Simple Favor movie is. I think this movie definitely is definitely darker. It tackles, some themes that I really enjoy. I can't really get into the themes, which sucks, because like it's kind of, there's some spoiler territory with the themes, but I just go out and watch it yourself and you'll see what I mean. It's a stressful movie that kind of tackles the stress of these characters, and I really enjoyed this movie better than I thought I would, honestly. And a lot of that is because I think I'm definitely a fan of Paul Feig and his direction and just the fun that he has within his movies. Even if they are tackling super serious stuff, he could still have moments that there's a couple lines in here I'm like that are actually pretty funny. But yeah, and then as far as the negatives go, I would say I don't think there's like a ton of them. I don't think this is like a great movie. But it is a very rewatchable movie. I think it's 100% rewatchable. A lot of Paul Feig's movies are very rewatchable. That's what I love about him as a director. But if I had to say, there is a particular twist that I just saw coming miles away. I could have guessed it before the movie even started. It is kind of obvious. There is some other twists and turns that kind of throw you for a loop, and you're like, oh shit. But the main one of the bigger twists, I saw it coming. It was just kind of obvious, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't, because it does surprise you with some other things, and there's also a bit of overacting in this movie. But that's what you come for in these types of thriller movies that are kind of ridiculous but know what they are, and this movie knows what it is. So I feel like even the negatives aren't necessarily really bad negative. It might be looked upon as a negative if you're really going into this with a critical lens, but should probably know what you came and watched, or what you're signing yourself up for. But yeah, guys, that's kind of my thoughts on The Housemaid. I really enjoyed this movie. It's one of the more fun experiences I had at a theater all year. It's a fun audience watch. Really good performances. But yeah, I can't wait to see more of Paul Feig. I'm interested if you also do a sequel to this. We got a sequel to A Simple Favor I never thought we'd get a sequel to. I don't know that this movie needs a sequel, but there are some openings for it, I will say. But we'll see. I really enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would, so that is a plus. I do have a new grading scale. I wrote it down so I didn't forget it, for the video. But so I have 5 levels, and this is going to be based off of like why, if you should go see it in theater. Obviously, the grading will still be just in general for those who don't go in theaters, but there is a theater must-go kind of thing to it. So we have must-see, have to go see it in theaters. You can't miss it. Next slide is fun time / theater experience. Basically, you're going to get a good time out of this movie, or you need to see it because it's a theater experience, even if it's not like some great movie. The next slide is watchable. Okay, it's fine, decent. I got something out of it. Next is wait for streaming. That might be somewhere in the watchable category, but like, it's decent, but you know, you can wait for it to come to cable. You don't need to see it in theaters. Now, if you're more of like just don't go to the theaters kind of person, that slide might not mean as much to you. I mean, wait for streaming could also be like if you're you like to buy movies. You could say, well, I don't need to buy this. I can easily just wait for. I know the physical media is not much of a thing anymore, but I still support it. And then finally, skip. I mean, that movie sucks. Get it out of here. Don't need it. I think this is in the fun category. I think it's not necessarily a theater experience, other than it is fun to watch with people. It's in the fun category because you enjoy your time at the theater. You're having fun. It's a thrill ride. Yeah, and it's also like it's a fun throwback to some of your thrillers, your erotica thrillers, your crazy twist and turn type thrillers of the 90s and the 80s. Really good job, Paul Feig. And yeah, how do you let me know, how do you like my grading system? Should I make any changes? Do you like it? Let me know down in the comments. What did you think of this movie? Do you like Paul Feig? Do you think he hasn't been the same since Bridesmaids? Do you think he's had other movies? I tend to think that A Simple Favor is damn good and probably my personal favorite, but I also think a movie like The Heat is hilarious. So yeah, go out and check out some other Paul Feig movies, but let me know, what's your favorite Paul Feig movie? What do you think of some of the performances in this movie? I'm dying to know. Put it down in the comments. Come on, guys, give me comments. I'm trying here. But yes, guys, as always, there will be an Avatar. There will be an Avatar review coming out. I'm a bit late on it. I'm trying to see it in IMAX, so like scheduling all that is tough. I'm also working on the next Oscar video, as well as we got Most Anticipated coming out soon. We got my top 10 movies of the year. I'm kind of working up that as well. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.